but how will all of these cues impact our own markets? Our research team is joining in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course the setup on the FNO side of things as well. Firstly, Vamakshi joins in to get all the market cues that we need to watch out for. Vamakshi, good morning. It's been a reversal from the Dow futures early this morning, but what are the cues that you are picking up?
Well, good morning, Hormaz. Yes, absolutely. On Wednesdays, when you look at Wednesday's trading session, markets were mostly flat except the last few minutes of trade. In fact, in the last few minutes of trade, the market slipped and closed near the day's lowest point. As far as the Nifty is concerned, it has failed to decisively break above that 24,350 mark for the 6th consecutive session, and that will be an important level to watch out for in today's trade as well. Apart from that, when we look at the Nifty Bank, that closed with a downtick of nearly 0.5%. It too has been consolidating in the range of 54,000 to 56,000. A decisive breakout about the 56,000 mark will be an important factor to watch out for. Now, as far as the broader markets are concerned, the risk-off sentiment continues here as well. They have underperformed in Wednesday's trading session, with the Nifty small cap index seeing a cut of almost 2%, and the mid cap index too was down somewhere around 1%. The PSU banks were, the index was the top sectoral loser, followed by the Nifty Media. On the flip side, Realty has been doing quite well. In fact, it is on track to be the top sectoral gainer for the week as well. As far as the trading session today is concerned, the economic cues, we'll be watching out for the US April jobs data. Auto stocks will also be in focus on the back of the April sales data. Earnings today, keep an eye out on Godrej Properties, Marico, as well as RR Kabel. But apart from that, many other stock-specific earnings will also continue to impact the markets. It's a positive handover coming in from US markets yesterday. Of course, the Dow futures have cooled off from the day's highest point. But nevertheless, when we look at the Indian markets, the Gift Nifty is indicating a flat start for the Indian markets.
Flat start indeed. Vamakshi, thanks a lot for that. Over to Sudarshan now, who would list out the stocks that you need to keep an eye out for today. Sudarshan, good morning. What's on your list?
Good morning, Nawaz. So we'll start with Eternal, which was earlier known as Zomato. Company says food delivery for Q4, food delivery growth continues to slow down, and quick commerce business, in which the losses continue to expand even against the same quarter last year. Losses have expanded, and commentary remains cautious, especially in the time of heightened competition. For Nuvoco Vistas, company has achieved all-time high volume of 5.7 million tons. Also, it was a big beat on profitability on improved realization and lower cost. For JSPL, adjusted EBITDA has come in at almost 2,500 crore against RPOL of 2,300 crore. It was top line beat on higher volumes, and volumes were at 2.13 million tons versus estimate of 1.95 million tons. For Ajanta Pharma, revenue has risen 11%, but margin was down 100 basis points. And for FY26, company is saying that margin is going to be at the similar level that company has seen in FY25. For Bandhan Bank, NI has missed estimate. It was down both year-on-year and on a sequential basis. Also, operating profit was down 14% year-on-year and down almost 22% on a sequential basis. Federal Bank NI was up 8% year-on-year but was down 2% sequentially. Operating profit has increased 32% year-on-year but was down almost 7% on a sequential basis. Now coming to the auto sales, M&M, both auto and tractor segment were higher than estimates, and now company is number 2 player in the PV as per Vahan registration data, and auto sales were up 19%, tractor sales were up 8%. For Maruti, sales were slightly higher than estimates. Compact, SUV and sales to other OEM have led the growth, and total sales were up 7% year-on-year. For TVS Motor, it continues to outperform the peers. Sales were up 16% year-on-year and up 4% against our estimate. For Hero MotoCorp, company has seen a sharp drop in the sales for the month of April, and mainly because of the company had closed production 4 units from April 17 to 19, and that has impacted the sales. Sales were down 32% versus estimates and down 43% year-on-year. NMDC has increased the prices for both the ores by rupees 440 ton, and that would be effective May 1. It's the first time that company has taken a price hike since January of 2025.
Indeed, we'll keep an eye out on all of these names. Sudarshan, thanks a lot for that. And lastly, Mangalam joins in with cues from the FNO space. Mangalam, good morning. Caution continues to prevail, but what's the FNO data indicating?
Caution continues to prevail overnight, but if you look at the FNO data, there is a fair amount of optimism, and that's what I say, that despite the sort of consolidation that we saw on the expiry day, that was Wednesday. Why? Because that was largely on the cards. The mid-cap index and the Nifty Bank saw some profit taking from record highs, but no real worries. If you look at the range on the Nifty, I remember telling you that, maybe 24,200 to 24,400 is the broad range that the option writers are working with. Look at the high on the Nifty, 24,396, and the low, 24,198 itself. What's positive is the FII flows in cash market. For 11 straight sessions, they've been buying. For 4 straight sessions, both DIIs and FIIs have been buying, and that's the longest cash buying streak by the FIIs all the way since October, November 2022. That's a positive. And not only are they not, selling in index in cash markets, they're also buying a lot in index futures. So their net buy on Wednesday was 1420 crores. They added 5,500 long contracts, covered about 2,400 short contracts as well. And if you look at the FII exposure in index futures, they're all but just 10,000 contracts on the long side. So their long positioning has now inched all the way up to 47%. The only fly in the ointment is that there are not enough shorts in the system to propel the market further for a big short covering rally. But this is good nevertheless, given the sort of optimism that we're seeing. For options that expire next week, 24,400 call has seen a fair amount of writing. 24,400 put also has seen a fair amount of writing, telling you the broad range 23,800 to 24,600. But more importantly, were the markets to break out on the upside, 25,200 call writers are sitting with a lot of punts. Just keeping an eye out on Maruti, saw a lot of long build up on Wednesday, and on Thursday we got numbers that came in for the sales.
You keep an eye out on all of this. Mangalam, thanks a lot for that update. Take a short